What's up guys, welcome back to another great episode with Car Talks. Now today we are in the 2019 Land Rover Cruiser. Let's go and check it out. If we come around the back of the car, seat's currently down, but they've got this posh looking climate control here. Seats quite easy to manoeuvre back. As you see, there's still quite a lot of leg room, but all cream leather as they sit. But with them down, you just pull this lever here and you get a hell of a lot of boot space. Also in this boot space, very handy, you've got a 100-watt plug. So if you're producing a lot of power, that is your daddy. Then you've got all the various other bits in here. So if you were to press this button here on the right hand side, press the top bit, and the seats automatically raise up. How cool is that? And it does the same thing. So the boot is very small when you do that, but if you want 7 people in here, it gives you the possibilities of doing that. And these obviously the seat belts for them, but do them both at the same time. Oh, I think that was an overload of power. So you just do one at a time. Can't do both at the same time. That's one of them, and it gives you, there's lots of beeping in this car, but it gives you a beeping sound once the seat is down. Done. But I do like the hydraulic bar that has this barn door effect. Cruiser. It hasn't got the typical there, but it's got a reversing camera, if you can see it just in the middle of the screen. Land Cruiser. Who would have thought, eh? There's quite a lot of spec on this. If you look at the back, if I unlock it, pops the glass. So if you've got any little bits left, you can just pop it in there and it keeps the actual door closed, which is really cool. It's still kept its originality. Clearance, so it's great for off-roading. But it's actually only sitting on 19-inch rims. I like this little step here if you're a little bit shorter. So going into the driving section, this model has got pretty much everything on it. So sit in the driver's seat. If I do the start-stop, which is actually in a good position this time, it's where you can see it. It's a diesel, as you know, everything turns on, which is cool. Sat nav in here, it's got the volume controls, it's got all the media. Looks a little cheap having this in here. It's got the clock, digital clock, it's got a touchscreen here, and it's got all the different setups if you want it. All the differentials, if you're going off-roading, are down here. It's got a little bit here for your phone, but I don't know why they've added this little bit of wood trim in here. It's nowhere else in the car. It's got grey and cream with these nice leather sort of sports seats, and they've stuck with the old school flip up charger points, which I think is quite cool. And then these are the heated seats, so you can have it cooler. If you swipe it that way, it makes it cooler, and that turns it to heat as it shows on the red and the blue indications. Cup holders as usual. I think we're ready to go for a spin. I find this probably one of the comfiest cars I've ever driven. I do like the cream. It's a shame it hasn't got a sunroof, but the cream, I still think when the sun is shining, which it is in the UK, yes, it does make you feel like you're in a bright car. One thing I have to say, which I've already noticed, which is really irritating, is that it clicks into eco mode whenever you've got it in drive. I haven't found something where you can turn that off. It is a diesel off-roader, so it's not meant to be a fast car. It does cruise, like it says in the word, very, very well. On the motorway, it is such a comfortable place to be. I find that if you're driving long distances, this is the car to have. It is very, very good in terms of that. You don't feel like you're, I feel like I'm in a living room, really, and as someone just said to me, I feel like it is something that you get on a African safari. But I feel like, actually for some reason, I feel like I'm driving an American car, because it's a very big car for me. feels a lot bulkier than many other cars that I've driven. It is a little bit sluggish. It is a diesel, not saying that that's American, but it does what it says on the tin. It gets a lot of storage in it, as you can see. I've actually added to it, so I've got a mirror that's 1 meter in diameter. I've got a TV which is 65 inches, and I've got the soundbar and the various other things in the back too. Now that is something to be grateful for, and I think this car does very well for that. I feel like I'm on a boat. It's not the fastest car, as I've said. It just churns along, does its thing, but as we all know, this car is probably more than likely used for off-roading of some description, or it's used for hauling things, so it's not designed for just driving through towns and cruising, although it says it in the title. So some statistics on this car. This car has a 2.8 litre diesel engine. It's a 4-cylinder, so it's not very quick. It's got about 174 horsepower, and that in layman's terms is a 0 to 60 time in over 11 seconds, but that is due to its weight. And now you'll hear this. It's not the biggest car, but it almost weighs 2.2 tons, and that, putting that power and the size of the engine down on the road is slow. I very much enjoy comfy cars, but I like pretty cars. This car is not pretty. It's bulky, it's sluggish, and it's got so much body movement. I mean, it's designed for off-roading, but if you're going to have this as a daily car, I wouldn't have it. I would have it purely if I owned a farm, or if I had a development company that would like haul or haulage lots of different items to and from sites. It isn't too bad on fuel. It does between 25 and 35 miles per gallon. That's not bad for the weight of this car, but it isn't too bad because it can get about 720 miles to the tank. That is what it said online. That's just the information I'm gathering. And it also has an 87 litre tank. These cars, they start from 34,000 in this spec. You've obviously got some add-ons, there's some leather pieces, it's got heated seats, it's got sat-nav. Those things are going to come as an optional extra. Being a Toyota, I'm sure that you're not going to go really over about 40,000 unless you go for upgraded wheels and special paintwork, but on this type of car you're not really going to do that. Yeah, if you've got multiple kids, you're more than likely going to get something like this, or I would suggest maybe a comparison. I'd go for a Q7. It's a little bit more expensive, it's the Audi brand. Or I would go for actually the new X5 looks very good, that's kind of affordable. That's probably more like 45 to 50,000 pounds, because they do it with 7 seats. So I always like the BMW brand. The X5s are very, very good. Been around one of those for many, many years of my life, so I can vouch for that. The video I'm actually talking about, I've done one of those before, so if you click the screen at the top, it should pop up. If it were me and I wanted an affordable car that is very comfortable, big, gets all the shopping in, you can go on trips away, go for this type of car. This type of car will be perfect for the job, and you can't really go too far wrong. Think about this diesel moat. Well, that is the end of this car, this review. Got a few things to say about it. One, not a massive fan, but it does what it says on the tin. If you're that type of person who wants this type of car, then fantastic. All there's left to do is, if you haven't subscribed, please do so on the link just here. If you want to give us a thumbs up, smash that like button and give us a comment below. Say what you think. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope you enjoyed the ride. See you next time.